here, okay, so by the way, if events are coming up, B-Sides this weekend and Hack the Bay this weekend and the RSA conference are all coming up. If you, this one costs a small amount of money. This one is free, I think. And this one is free on Thursday for College Day. And if you want to go to the other days, you can just Google free RSA Expo Pass. And you can get a pass to the Expo for the other days if you want to. So if you go to any of those things, they're good for you. They're worth extra credit. But anyway, for today, this is 121. And I don't plan to do any new textbook information today. I just plan to start demonstrating Velociraptor. We have done, most of this course we've done with Autopsy, which is an all-in-one forensic suite, and sometimes we used Wireshark. Velociraptor is another powerful tool, and so I want to demonstrate these projects where you can get set up and use Velociraptor. Now, I think everything we've done so far in this course has used Windows only, though, so the first project is you're going to need to have a Windows and a Linux machine. They can be real or virtual. So local virtual machines are probably how most people want to do this, with VMware or VirtualBox. And if you're using M1, a Mac, then there's different instructions to create a Windows virtual machine on an M1, which I've been using all along. And so you can get a flag off your Windows machine by just executing this command. And then for a Linux machine, you can get it here. And the instructions to get a Linux machine are here. All you have to do is, after you have VMware Workstation Player or VMware Fusion, you can go here and download a Linux virtual machine. So if you go to this location, here's Debian 11 virtual machines, and the best thing to get is a regular installation for VirtualBox or VMware here. I prefer the minimal installation, which is a headless server with no graphics, but most people that are beginning would like to have graphics in the browser and such, so the image here would be better. All you do is download that image, unzip it, and run it. And so I should have that here. If I go to my VMware and I go to my virtual machine library, I downloaded Debian 12. If you're running on a Mac M1, you cannot use those pre-built virtual machines. They only have them for Intel. What you'll have to do is download the ISO image for Debian and install it. And I think I have... Yeah, here we go. Here's where you can get it. If you're on a Mac M1, then you go here and get the ISO, which is here, Debian 12 ISO here, and you connect that to your virtual machine as a virtual CD-ROM and go through an installation process. And the end result of that will be a headless virtual machine like this. So if I type Control-C and... let me just press, okay, I'll press IPA is the only thing I ever do here. This is something real important. This is the console of a virtual machine. And the console is very inconvenient to use. You can't adjust the font size, you can't copy and paste into it, and generally it just gives you a headache. So the only thing I use the console for is to find the IP address. I execute the IPA command, and I get this IP address, 172.17.21.40, and then I connect with SSH. So go to a terminal. I'll just make a new terminal. And then SSH Debian at that address, 172.17.21.40. And then I log in. Okay, I'm going to say yes, I'm sure I want to connect, and then give it my password. And now I'm in. So this is a much better way to control your machine. Now you have a window that's easier. You can copy and paste into here. So this is controlling my Linux virtual machine, which I'm not going to use. Not going to use the console anymore. And I have a Windows virtual machine here. Now you need to have your machines so they can talk to each other. If you are using VMware, that is very easy. If you're using VirtualBox, it is very difficult, and the most successful way to do it that I know of is to add a second virtual adapter to localhost only for each of those machines, because VirtualBox puts each of the machines in a separate subnet. They'll all have the same address, and they'll all be behind their own virtual router. They can't see each other, but if you give them a network connection to the local network, then they can communicate through that. In VirtualBox, in VMware, which is what I'm using though, it's much easier. If I go to command prompt, and I just type ipconfig, then see this machine has 192.168.121.140, and so I can see if the other machine can ping it. This is how you check connectivity between machines. Ping 192, 168, 121, 140. And I don't get any replies, so something is wrong. Now, the most common problem is that the firewall is on. So let's see if that's the problem here. Firewall, Windows Defender firewall. And it is on. So I need to turn that off. I could be fancy and just let pings through, but I'm planning to let other traffic through later. I just want to turn it off entirely. Yep, now it's going to get upset about my security because I've turned off the firewall. That's what I expected. And now if I ping the Windows machine, I get no replies, so that's not good. Okay, let's see if I can figure out what the problem is. This machine is 172.17. Okay. All right, now what's going on here is probably my virtual network settings. If I go to my Windows machine, it is in NAT mode, which is going to be a private address behind a router, and that's usually the mode you want. But to have easiest connectivity, I want my Linux machine to also be in NAT mode, and it may not be. Let's go to here. Here's my Linux machine, and it's in bridged mode. Okay, so I'll move it to NAT mode. Now that's going to change my IP address, which will break the SSH connection. Now to get a new address, I have to give it sudo dhclient -v. And I think that's not projecting, so you can see it coming up. So when I do that, here it is, dhpp discover. And so now it gets 192.168, 121, 139. So I'm going to close that window and open a new one. Okay. And try SSHing into this one at 192, 168, 121, 139. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to try pinging the Windows machine, which is here. Ping 192, 168, 121, 140. All right, this is important. This is the most important step. It applies to almost all my classes, like the hacking class and everything. You have to get two virtual machines, and they have to network to each other. And that is the main place where students have great suffering. So now I've got two virtual machines that can see each other. That's what I need. So that's all you need for this project. That gets you ready to play games with them, which is what we're going to do. And let me see if there's comments in the Twitch. Nothing new. Okay, I'm going to stop this recording.